Hey. Oh, am I live? Oh, thank you. There he is, the Dark Arrow. This is my answer to Hawkeye and the Green Arrow, the Dark Arrow. Check it out. He's up on a building. You know what I mean? Some clouds in the background. Cyborg. And I even wrote some, it says it's usually illegal to hunt at night. And what's even more illegal is hunting bad guys. That's if you're not a cop, that is. The problem is humans are inefficient. Is that what it is? Humans are pretty ineffective at fight when it comes to fighting crime. I should know. I used to be one. Isn't that tight? And then I can show them like leaping from building top to building top, and like then show like a big panel, like almost a page of him split, almost like Spider-Man or whatever, in his human self. And yeah, no, it's called the Dark Archer. I looked up the Dark Arrow. No, nobody's using it. There's Night Arrow, and nobody's using the Dark. Otherwise, I'm gonna call him Dark Bow or Night, or you could use Night Arrow, like not. But I'm using Dark Arrow. There's Dark Archer. Uh, yeah, it's not. Nobody's using Dark Arrow. So Dark Arrow. And so basically, the story goes is he's like a rich entrepreneur, right? And it's kind of RoboCop-ish, but a little different. Like the world is ridden with crime. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's another part of my universe with the Anarch Angels. Thank you, sir. Yeah, he's metal with black striping, basically, and there's a bow. He's got a bow right there. Isn't that tight at the top of his? No, I think he should have his own issue. So, what I'm gonna do is now that I'm gonna brush up the cover for. Um, I'm gonna brush up the cover for Yeah, I'm gonna brush up the cover for in the first two pages and do some. I'm gonna basically polish everything up and do a few extras for my Anarch Angels release, and then as soon as I put that up, I'm just gonna get right to work on the cover and the first couple, 2 or 3 pages of the Dark Arrow, and I've already got page. Here's the opening page right there. It's that quick. I'm getting better. Like I'm just just throwing just pooping good art out right now. I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting and it's so cool because there's so many good artists now drawing live. You know what I mean? It's like inspiring, man. And then you can see how other artists deal with things, and you like influence each other. So you know what I'm saying? Dave Finch was talking about basically how most of the artists, no matter what they say, rip off like all the other artists that they like, and that's just how it goes, man. It's just you got to make your. It's like it's weird. You come up with your own little recipe, your own little character. It's cool. And then Nighthawk, you have, or are you, or no, Savage Hawk. Savage Hawk sounds like a cool character. And then what's Pluto Magoo? Those sound like some cool comic books that Humphrey, what is it? Humphrey Bear is working on, I think, and or yeah, you know what I mean. You just borrow ideas because and you put it in your toolkit basically on how to deal with certain things. So Um, yeah, so basically, I'll show him like a split page, and it'll talk about how it'll show his human. It'll show him when he's a human, basically one half, and then his mask in the other half. Like a big page of that, basically with a couple other panels thrown in there, but. And it'll say he'll say something like it'll be like his origin basically. He'll be talking about his origin, and he'll say like I was a rich entrepreneur dying of a rare illness, or of an illness there was no cure for. So I made a deal to have my consciousness downloaded into this into this suit and fight crime forever, basically. Wouldn't that be tight, man? That would be tight. Dark Arrow. What was my inspiration for this character? I don't know. It like popped in my head. Okay, I did some artwork for a guy on my I did a page for a guy on my MGTOW channel one time when I was talking about doing comic books on one of my other channels, and his character was the Black Arrow, and then and the design I did was okay. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't that good, but then just suddenly, like, I was remembering the drawing I did of the Black Arrow, and then my memory like memorized it wrong, and it looked like, and it just like popped in my head like this, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I gotta draw that. So I drew. This right there, and just very quickly I drew that. That's the very first drawing of him right there. And basically yeah, that's how that happened. And then I was like, wow, and then I envisioned him up on top of a building talking about how, like, it's usually illegal to hunt at night. And it's even more illegal to hunt bad guys and be a vigilante. That's if you're a vigilante and not a cop. If you're a vigilante and not a cop, that is. That's what I got to write. Cool story. Yes, it's going to be cool. So get ready for the Dark Arrow, another addition to Kingdom Comics universe. Dark Arrow. He can team up with the Archangels. He's a cyborg. He's really strong. He's like state of the art technology right there. You know what I'm saying? So he can be one of the good guys. I gotta start working on Nebulord. I gotta start working on Nebulord. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow, or I gotta do some. Yes, I will start showing the first few. I can already picture the first page in my head, and I think page 2 too. I'm gonna have to do some cityscapes, which is easier than the ocean that I had to do the ocean and stuff. Oh man, I don't even draw water. I don't even know. I broke my own rule of like the whole first 2 pages of Archangels broke my major rule of like, don't plan your story around around things that you're not really comfortable drawing if you don't have to. And one of the things I'm not really comfortable drawing is the ocean. Oh yeah, man. But it forced me to deal with that, and I dealt with it fairly well. Not masterfully, I wouldn't say like Bernie Wrightson, but I sold it. Yeah, like you should plan your stories try to plan your stories mostly, you know what I mean, as you go, and then work on basically you you should just draw everything, and you gotta like train you gotta like retrain your brain to just think that the most boring panels, like, see, this is a cool panel to draw, the opening page, right? But what about when I gotta draw just a couple people like talking to each other in a room, like sitting on a couch or something? You know what I'm saying? You gotta get, you gotta like retrain your brain to like realize that that's an interesting part of the comic page too, even the boring stuff, even the not so, yeah, and it makes it easier to do, to like hang in there and do your full, and like not rush your, you know, your art, to be consistently good and not rush your art to get to like the cool stuff, you know. So just a little advice. And archangels, I have or not and archangels. There it is. There's my final my final. That's the logo. That's the title of the comic right there. Is and archangels. So that's all she wrote on that. That's just that's sold and that's after bouncing ideas off of several people, people like Anarch Angels. It's different, and you know, it's cool. And I think the Dark Arrow, this right here, man, this character, the Dark Arrow, this guy right here, man, this is like a hot. That's hot, man. This is like there's the potential for a character like this right here, boy. And he has darts too. He like throws darts, you know, just stuff like that. You know, maybe he's like a ninja. You know, he's like a cyber ninja. Look at that, man. That is bad. That is bad. So yeah, I'm going to bed too. It's late. I got to work again tomorrow. So you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Things are getting crazy in this country. So just pray to God. Uh, you know, now is not the time to be going on big adventures, probably, and stuff like that. Now is the time to be like keeping a low profile and staying safe. So yeah, Kingdom Comics over. I'm peace and yo.